Hey, what's up everybody? Clifton here, CliftonWP. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, you're going to learn how to create a custom dashboard for your website admin section using Kadence and Kadence Blocks. Now, this is a great strategy to use if you want to provide a better or a more professional logged in experience for yourself, or maybe for a client who you've built a website for and they're going to be logging in to the back end of that website. This will allow you to be able to create a custom dashboard that they can access the parts of the website that are useful to them and be able to get to it quickly. And it will replace the default WordPress dashboard that's typically there when people log in. So if you guys are ready to learn how to create a custom dashboard for your website admin section using Kadence and Kadence Blocks, then let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, before we get started, I want to thank you in advance for stopping by and watching this video. If you enjoy detailed and actionable tutorials on Kadence, web design, web business, and all things WordPress, then please take a moment to press the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I release more videos. Also remember to like, comment, and ask questions in the comment section below so I can help you in any way that I can. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're all familiar with WordPress, and there's usually more attention from a design perspective paid to the front end of the website than the WordPress backend. We are all familiar with logging into WP Admin and this being the landing page that you are greeted with once you log in. And sometimes when you hand this over to a client, sometimes you may want to have a more professional experience for that client or even for yourself. And you're going to learn how to be able to do that in this tutorial today. So we're going to go from experiencing something that looks like this and creating a possibility for your site or for your client's site that looks more like this. So here we have a nice greeting for the backend, and yes, we are in WP Admin, and we have useful links over here that they can use to navigate very easily, in addition to the links in the menu as well. There's a link to visit the front end of the website. Here are the most recent blog posts that they've posted, and they can create a new post from here. And then we even have website operation tutorials that they can go through, and then your contact information here as well. Now you can design this page in Kadence with Kadence Blocks and Kadence theme, and it can be in any kind of design you want or any layout that you want. This is just an example layout and the one that we're going to be working on today. So in this tutorial, you're going to learn how to create this exact layout, how to be able to get it to be what the client sees when they log into WP Admin, or what you see when you log into WP Admin. And then we'll also talk about a few housekeeping items to make sure that the flow is just smooth and everything works out great from a user experience perspective. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here we are with a fresh install of WordPress, and what you're looking at here is the default 2024 theme that comes when you first install WordPress for the first time. What we're going to do, since we're going to be doing this step by step, is we're going to go ahead and install the Kadence theme and the Kadence Blocks and any other plugins that's going to help us basically achieve our goal of creating a custom dashboard in WP Admin. So let's go ahead and go to the dashboard. Just navigate over to the top left of the WP Admin toolbar, right over the title, and click on the dashboard link. And then from here, we're going to click on Appearance, Themes, click on Add New Theme, and do a search for Kadence. You'll see the Kadence theme right over here. This is a free theme. Just go ahead and click on Install and Activate. Excellent. So now we have the theme installed. If we visit the front end of the website, you'll see now that we have the Kadence theme, which has now replaced the default WordPress 2024 theme. Next, we're going to go ahead and install Kadence Blocks, which will give us the page building tools that we need to build out our page. So let's go back to the dashboard, click on Plugins. I'm going to click on Add New Plugin. And from here, you're going to do a search for Kadence Blocks. And you'll see the Kadence Blocks right over here. Click on Install and Activate. All right, so now we have Kadence Blocks installed. We also have the Kadence theme installed. And I want to note that both the Kadence theme and Kadence Blocks are free in the WordPress repository. And for this specific tutorial, all the tools we're going to be using are going to be completely and 100% free. All right, now that we have the theme installed and we have Kadence Blocks installed, the next thing that we need to do is we need to have a starter template to get started with. So we're just going to pretend that we have an actual website built and maybe we're going to hand this over to a client, or we're going to be using it ourselves, and so that we have a nice matching themed custom dashboard to go with that website. Okay, a good place to get a fully built out website template is Kadence Starter Templates, and you'll notice that when you install the Kadence theme and Kadence Blocks, you may have this notice here that says Install AI Starter Templates. You can go ahead and click on that. If you're not seeing this, then you can also go to Plugins, click on Add New Plugin, and do a search for Kadence Starter Templates, and you'll see the AI powered starter templates here by Kadence. Go ahead and click on Install Now and activate. Okay, so now we have the Kadence AI starter templates installed. Go ahead and click on the View Template Library, and then from here you have the option of activating the Kadence AI starter templates or using the classic starter templates. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're just going to use the classic starter templates. So click on the classic starter templates link. Make sure you have the block editor here selected, and from here you'll see some templates that are available to you to install and begin customizing if you'd like. In this case, you have free versions and pro versions for the Kadence Pro theme add-on if you're using that. For this tutorial, we're going to be using 100% free tools. So let's go ahead and filter this out to only show us the free templates. Okay. All right, and the one we want to use is, let's use this law firm one. So let's go ahead and select the law firm. Here you can select your colors and your fonts. I'm pretty happy with the colors here. Let's take a look at the fonts. And we can select a different type of font here if you like. I'm happy with the default fonts that come with it, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on Next. And then here you have the advanced settings, whether you want to import the customizer settings and import the widgets. I want to do that as well, so let's go ahead and click on Next. And then here are all the plugins that are available that you need to install to be able to utilize this one. In this case, we already have all the plugins that we need. These are all just optional plugins if you would like them. So we're just going to leave this the way that it is. I'm going to go ahead and click and finish and launch. And then from here, I'm going to click on Start Import. Okay, so our starter template has successfully been imported. Let's go ahead and click on See My Site. And you'll see here the starter template is ready for you to go ahead and customize. Now for this particular tutorial, we're really working on the back end, but it's nice to have a template already installed. And if you like the Kadence starter templates, they make excellent starting points for you to build out a website of your choosing. If we navigate back here to the dashboard, we will see that we still have this default WordPress admin landing page, and this is what we're going to be replacing with our custom dashboard page. So let's go ahead and start designing our custom dashboard page using Kadence Blocks and a page from within Kadence. So from within the dashboard, we're going to navigate to Pages in the side menu here, and we're going to click on Add New Page. This is going to bring us to the page editing interface, and from here we're going to go ahead and first set up our page. So let's go ahead and navigate to the page settings, which is going to be this icons in the top right corner called Page Settings. Just go ahead and click on that. That's going to open up all the page settings for this page. The first thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and disable the page title. We want to set our page layout to full width. Our content style is going to be unboxed. The content vertical spacing is going to be disabled, and we're also going to disable the header and the footer because this page, this custom dashboard, is going to be on the back end of the website, and so there's no need for us to have a header and footer there on the back end. Okay, next we're going to give our page a title. You can call this anything you want, but for the purposes of this tutorial, we'll call it Custom Dashboard. And next we're going to go ahead and start building out our page here. So I'm going to click on the block inserter, and I'm going to add my first container, which is going to be the row layout block. Now this is the container that's going to contain all of the other blocks. So this is kind of like a parent container for me. So I'm going to go ahead and select that I want just one column, and the first thing I'm going to do is select the row and go ahead and make sure that the alignment is set to full width. Okay. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the actual rows that's going to build out the page. So the first thing that I want is I want a nice hero section. So I'm going to click on the plus sign inside of this row, and I'm going to add another row layout. And then this is also going to be a one column row layout. And then I also this time want to set up this row layout to also have a full width alignment, but this time I want the inner content width to go ahead and be the same as the inner content width for the theme, which is about 1290 pixels by default. That's going to center everything here nicely for me. Okay. Next, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add some padding. So I'm just going to do this visually by dragging here in the green areas that get highlighted when you move your cursor over the padding area here. And I'm going to set this up to be 3x large. Okay, that should be good. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to add a background. So I'm going to go ahead and select the row, move over to the right, make sure I have the block settings selected, which is going to be this icon right over here in the top right. And then I'm going to go to the Style tab and click on Select Image and just grab a suitable image for your background or for whatever you're creating for your client. In this case, I'm just going to select this one. This looks good enough. Let's go ahead and add that here to the background. Next, I want to add some text in here. So I'm going to click on the plus sign and I'm going to add the text block from Kadence. And we're going to go ahead and type the words hello with an exclamation mark. And I'm going to go ahead and center this. And just so that we can see our text that we're adding to this row layout, I'm going to select the row, move over to the right, make sure I'm under the Style tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom, select the text color settings, and we're going to change the text color here to white. So just click on the color selector and we'll change that to a white color. That way we can see it. The other thing that I'm going to do is I want to add a bit of an overlay over this so that we can see the text even better. So make sure the row is still selected. Then make sure you're under the Style tab here in the settings. Scroll down until you see the background overlay settings. Go ahead and open that. And then from here, we're going to click on the color selector for the overlay color. And we're going to select just our strong text color here. Okay, it's going to give us a nice subtle overlay. We may want to increase this just a little bit. So let's bring this all the way up to about 50. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of text below this. So I'm going to click right here on the exclamation mark, hit my enter key, and we'll do a /, start typing the words text. And you'll see here the Kadence text block. Go ahead and select that. I'm going to go ahead and center it. And I'm going to change the designation here from an H2 heading tag to a paragraph tag. And right over here, we're just going to type the words welcome to your dashboard. This is where you can make changes to your website. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm realizing I don't need this much space here. So I'm going to go ahead and select this row layout again, select the inner content width, and this time I'm going to use a custom width, and let's just make this 600 pixels. So the next thing that I want to do here is I want to go ahead and reduce some of the spacing between the hello and the rest of the text here. So I'm going to select the hello text, move over here to the right, go to advanced, and over here where we have the margins, I know there's some default margin here. I'm going to click on the bottom margin, and I'm going to go ahead and just zero that out, and then add the margin here of my choosing. And that looks great where it is now. Okay. And then over here, I do want to reduce this spacing as well. So I'm going to select the paragraph text, move over here to the right, go to the line height, and let's change this to rems. And I'm going to change this to 1.6. Okay. So that looks a little bit more uniform. So we now have a nice hero section here. And I think what I want to do is I want to add a little bit more spacing below and a little more spacing at the top here. Okay. So we've taken advantage of the full 5x large padding. Next, let's add a section of shortcuts that are going to allow the user to be able to navigate the WP admin from the back end. So to do that, we're going to add a new row layout right below this row layout. And to make sure that we're doing it right below this one and inside of our main container, you can open this up in list view. And you can see here, we have the main container here, and then the main container section. And then here's the hero section that we just built out. So to help us be able to manage this better, let's just go ahead and rename this row layout here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the vertical ellipsis, go to rename, and we'll call this hero row layout. All right, so right below this one, we want to add another row layout right over here. Okay, and we can do that a number of ways. You can click on the vertical ellipsis here and click on add after. Or you can click on the actual row itself, click on the vertical ellipsis in the short menu, and then click on add after. That's going to add a new block line right below that one. So we can close this out. And from here, we're going to go ahead and do a /, and we will select a row layout. And in this case, we want 4 navigational sections here or navigational widgets. So let's go ahead and select a 4-column row. So I'm going to click on the 4-column option, and that's going to give me 4 sections here. I'm going to go ahead and select the row, make sure that the alignment is still full width, and then I'm going to select that I want the inner content width to use the theme content inner content with default, which is going to go ahead and center those 4 sections here nicely. And then I'm going to go ahead and rename this row as well. I'm going to click on the vertical ellipsis, go to rename, and we'll call this our navigation row layout. And let's just call it navigation widgets to separate it from any other kind of navigation. And we'll click on save. Now inside of here, we're going to go ahead and add our navigational links that are going to navigate from within WP admin. Okay, so the first one we want to add is going to be a link for the site user to be able to create blog posts. Okay, now we can do this any number of ways. We can break this up and add text blocks and icon blocks and buttons to do this. But what I want to do in this case, just to make it quick and efficient, is I'm going to use a Kadence block called the info box block. It has an icon, it has a title, a description, and you can even enable a button in it if you want to in one fell swoop. So just go ahead and click on the plus sign here, and we're going to do a search for info. And you will see the info box block right over here as one of the options. Go ahead and select that. And now we have an info box block that has pretty much everything that we need to create a nice navigation for the user. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just rename this. We'll call this create new blog posts. We'll add a nice description so they know what this is for. So we'll say click here to create a new blog post. Okay. All right, now we need to go ahead and style this because this looks a little strange. So let's go ahead and select that info box. We're going to move over here to the right, and under the style tab, what we're looking for first is going to be our media settings, because we're going to change this icon. So I'm going to select the media settings here, and I'm going to select the icon that's already in place, and we're going to change this icon. But let's make it an edit icon. So I'm just going to do a search for the word edit. And this looks pretty good here. So as something to create a blog post. So let's go ahead and select this one. Okay, that looks pretty good. Next, I also want us to change the size of the heading tag there. So I'm going to close the media settings and open up the title settings. And in this case, I'm happy to leave it as an H2. But I do want to reduce the size. So let's see what it looks like on a medium size. Okay, that looks a little bit more manageable. So we'll leave this at a medium size here. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to reduce the size of this icon. So I'm going to go back to the media settings, and let's reduce the icon to 40 pixels. Okay, great. So now we have a nice little title here that says create a new blog post. We have a description for it that says click here to create a new blog post. And then now we need to link this to being able to create a blog post. So I'm going to go ahead and select that info box. And I'm going to move over here to the right. I need to grab the link that allows us to create a new blog post. So I'm going to move over here to the right. And I'm going to click on the vertical ellipsis here in the topmost menu bar here. Okay, it's going to open up the options. And I'm going to toggle off full screen mode. That's going to make the side menu appear here to the left. I'm going to go over to posts, and here where it says all blog posts or all posts, right below that says add a new post. I'm going to hover my mouse over there, and I'm going to right click, and that's going to give me some options here. And I want to copy this link address. So click on copy link address, and now I'm going to come back, select that info box, move over to the right, go all the way back to the top, go to the general tab for the info box. And here where it says link, I'm going to click my cursor in here and go ahead and press in Command V or Control V if you're using a PC. And that's going to add that link that allows you to create a new post inside of the URL field here. I'm going to go ahead and click on the arrow here to submit that. And now anytime they click this link, it will allow them to open up the new post interface. And now I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process. And this time the new navigation is going to say view all blog posts. So let's just go ahead and select this info box. I'm going to come here, click on the vertical ellipsis. I'm going to select copy, and I'm going to move over to the next section here. Click on the plus sign, select the paragraph block, and then I'm going to do a Command V or Control V if using a PC. And that's going to go ahead and repeat this for me. I'm going to do that right now to all of these different sections here, so that I have everything ready to go ahead and configure. Now I just need to change the information. So this one's going to say view all blog posts. And then all I need to do now is add a suitable icon and change the description. So click here to view all blog posts. Okay, and I'm going to come over here to the right, and I'm going to go to the Style tab, Media Settings, and I want to change the icon. So I'm going to select the icon here, and I want an icon that kind of looks like seeing a lot of posts. So this looks like a pretty suitable one here. And then the other thing I also need to make sure of is I need to change this link, right? So I'm going to select the icon, move over to the left-hand side menu here, go to Posts, and I really want the link that says All Posts. So I'm going to hover over All Posts, right-click on there, select the Copy Link Address, move over here to the right, make sure that I have this info box selected. I'm going to go to the General tab, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit this link and add in the new link to be able to view all posts. Go ahead and click on the arrow here to submit it. And now this one is done. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create 2 new navigations. This is going to say create new page or create new web page. And this is going to say view all pages. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to click on create new, and we'll change this to web page. And then click here to create a new web page. And then I'm going to select the info box here, move over to the right, go to Style, go to the Media Settings, and I'm going to change the icon again. And I want something that looks like pages. We don't have an icon for pages, but we do have an icon for books. Okay, for a book. So let's go ahead and look at this one. This will be our symbol for a page. And then I'm going to click on the info box here. I'm going to move over to the left side menu here. And we're going to hover over the Add New Page link, right click on it, click on Copy Link Address, come back, select the info box again, move back over to the right for the settings, go to the General tab, and then we'll go ahead and edit this link, remove the link that is there, and go ahead and paste in. So Command V or Control V if you're on a PC, submit that link, right? And now this is now ready. Okay, next let's go ahead and do the final navigation, which is going to be view all web pages. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click here. We're going to say view all web pages. And say click here to view all web pages on your, okay. And of course, we're going to change the icon to something else. So I'm going to select the info box, go to Media Settings. We're going to go to this icon. And in this case, let's go ahead and do a search again for book and see what would make sense. Let's do an I. Okay. So that looks great. Okay, so view all web pages, click here to view all web pages. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the info box again, move over here to the left. I'm looking for the all pages link. I'm gonna hover my mouse over that, right click on it, and then click on copy link address, move over here to the right, back to this info box, make sure that you're under the General tab. We're going to remove the link that is there now, and we're gonna go ahead and paste in Command V, the new link we just copied. Let's go ahead and submit that. And now all of our links are completed. Okay. So next I want to add a little bit of styling to this section over here. I mean, this looks great the way that it is, but I want to create some more dynamic look to it. So I'm going to go ahead and select this row, move over here to the right, and I'm going to go to the Advanced tab. And here where it has the margin, I'm going to go ahead and select that I want to set a custom size, right? Because right here, this is going to give me all the clamp sizes. I want to select the custom size. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and add -60 pixels to it. Okay, and that's going to bring that up, given this effect right over here. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and create the rest of the sections for our custom dashboard. Okay, next let's add a button that will allow the site admin to go ahead and visit the front end of the website from the dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the latest row that we created. And I'm going to go to the short menu here, click on the vertical ellipsis, and then we're going to select Add After. It's going to create a new block line inside of our main row container. I'm going to do a / and start typing the words button, and you'll see the Kadence Advanced button option here. Let's select it. That's going to give us a themed button here, and we're just going to type the words visit the website, okay, and make sure that it's selected. Move over to the right to the single button settings, and here in the button link field, I'm going to do a search for home. That's going to find me the home page link here. I'm going to select it, and now this will link to the front end of the website. I'm going to select the button again, just add a little bit of spacing between the button and the row above it. Move over here to the right, go under the Advanced tab, and we're going to add a margin, and let's just add a medium margin to this. All right, next we're going to go ahead and add a section to the dashboard that's going to show the latest or most recently published blog post. So with the button selected here, we're going to go ahead and click on the short menu, vertical ellipsis, and select add after. It's going to create a new block line. Then I'm going to type a / and start typing the words row. And from the menu that shows up, we're going to click on the row layout. And from the row layout options, I'm going to select that I want a 1-column row. And with that row selected, here on the alignment options in the short menu, I'm going to set that to be full width. And then I'm going to set the inner content width to be the default of the theme. So that should center everything really nicely for me. Next, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add a title here. So I'm going to click on the plus sign, select the text block from Kadence, and we want this to say recently published posts. Next, I need to adjust the size of this because this is too big. So I'm going to go over to the right here. And here where it says font size, we're going to select that we want a large size. Okay, that should reduce it significantly. Okay, next, what I want to do is create some spacing here between the section up top and the section that we're building. So I'm going to add a 2x large padding on top and a 2x large padding on the bottom. Next, I'm going to select the title text again, click on the vertical ellipsis, and then from the menu that comes up, select add after. It's going to give me a new block line. And this time I'm going to do a / and type the words post. And you should see the post here from the Kadence blocks. Select that one. And this will show all the blog posts that are currently in the website. Okay. Now we just need to configure this and make it look a little bit more presentable. So over here on the right hand side, here are the settings that we want to set. We want to make sure that the post type is set to post. Order by newest to oldest is fine, but the number of items, we want that to be 3 items. Offset starting post. So the starting post here is this hello world default post. So for now, we're going to set the offset starting post to 1. That's going to go ahead and remove that. And that way we have full posts as the options here. Okay, and as we scroll down, everything else can pretty much stay the same, but we want to go to the layout settings. And here is where you can change the columns and set your tablet columns. So I'm going to set my tablet columns to 2 so that when this is on a tablet, it's going to show 2 blog posts in a 2-column grid. Okay, and everything else here is fine. Next, I'm going to move over to the styling, and under the style, the HTML tag here is set to H2. I am totally fine with that, but the size is too large. So let's set the size here. Let's take a look at it as a large size. Okay, so far this looks fine. What about a medium? Medium is even better. So we'll leave this at a medium. And then everything else here is fine. For the image settings, I want the image to be a little bit more narrow. So we're going to go to image ratio, open up the drop down and select 16 by 9. And then everything else here is fine. Okay, next we're going to go to the advanced tab. Actually, let's go back to the style tab. So here where we have the font size, I'm seeing that the words here are a little bit too close. When they shift over or they wrap over to the next line. So I want to set the line height here. So I'm going to change the unit to rems, and I'm going to set a line height of 1.6 rems. Okay, so now it has a little bit of breathing room. It looks much more balanced. Okay, next we're going to go to the advanced tab, and under the advanced tab, I'm going to disable the author, so it's just the date, because I just want them to see the date. And then for the excerpt here, if you go to content settings, we're going to enable the custom excerpt length. So we don't have all these words. We can just have 8 words. So we are now done with building out the recently published post section. This way, when they log in, they can see what their recently published posts are. The other thing that we can do is we can add a link for them to be able to view all the posts. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's select the post again, click on the vertical ellipsis, and we'll select add after. I'll create a new block line for us. Then we'll do a / and we want the button from Kadence Blocks, and we'll say here, view all posts. And to link this is very easy. Just come over here to the side menu under post. We'll click on all, actually hover over all posts, right click, and select the copy link address from the menu that appears. And then here on the right hand side, make sure you have the button selected. In the button link field, go ahead and paste that link in there using Command V or Control V if you're on a PC. Okay, we'll go ahead and submit that so that it takes it. And then let's go ahead and add some spacing between the button and the post. So I'm going to select the button, move over to the right, go to advanced. Under the top margin, we're going to add a medium margin to this. All right, excellent. Then let's go ahead and publish this, save our work. Great. So our custom dashboard is coming along pretty nicely. Okay. Now we need to add the final section to the custom dashboard, and that's going to be the tutorials and the customer support section. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open this up in list view. I want to select the last row that I created, click on the vertical ellipsis, and then I'm going to click on add after. It's going to add a new block line for me right below the last row. And then from here, I'm going to do a / and start typing the words row and select the row layout from Kadence Blocks. For this layout, I want a 2-column row. I'm going to select the row and I'm going to set the alignment to full width, and then the inner content width will adapt the same inner content width as the theme. Just going to center everything nicely for me. Okay. All right, then I want to add a little bit of padding at the top. So I'm going to add a 2x large padding on top and a 2x large padding on the bottom. And then I'm going to set the layout to be wider on the left and more narrow on the right. The left side will contain the website operation tutorials, and the right side will contain the support information. Okay, so first let's go ahead and add our labels. So I'm going to click on the plus sign here, select the text block from Kadence, and I'm going to set this size here to a medium size. Actually, a large size is fine. And we're just going to call this one website operation tutorials. And then from here, I'm going to hit the enter key, which is going to create a new block line for me. I'm going to do a /, and now I want to create the interface for the website tutorials. Now you can do this with just text, or you can do it with tabs or an accordion. In this case, we're going to use the Kadence tabs block. I think it presents the most beneficial way for a tutorial. So let's select the vertical tabs on the left layout here, and then we'll just customize this to better match our theme. Okay, so now that we have the tabs selected, what I want to do here is I just want to go ahead and add my information. So the first tab will be our introduction, or actually let's call this one start here. The second one will be blogs. Third one will be pages. Of course, you can make these anything that you want. I'm just adding some dummy tutorials here. Let's make the fourth one media. Okay, that should be enough. All right, now we need to go ahead and add some content to the different tabs here. So we're just going to add some placeholder content. I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to grab this content right here, placeholder content, and then click on the plus sign, and we can add a heading, and let's make these H3s, and we'll say introduction and overview. Hit the enter key, / I'm going to select the text block again, make this into a paragraph. And now we can add our placeholder content. And you can also add videos, images, whatever you want. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and just grab all this. And I'm going to copy it and populate it to all the other ones. Just select the next tab, click on the plus sign, add a paragraph block, and paste it in there. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and style our tabs. Okay, so over here on the right hand side is going to be the settings and the styling for the tabs. We'll start with the general tab first. So the initial tab that we want open is going to be our start here tab. And then under the content settings, we want the content background. We're going to leave that as white. That's fine. The border, though, we're going to want to remove the border temporarily. So I'm just going to go ahead and reset the border. I'm just going to take that border out, and I'll leave a default border there. I'm going to go ahead and add a 0 to completely remove the border entirely. Okay, and then next we're going to go to the style tab, and under the style tab is where you have the tab settings and the tab styling settings. So right here, I'm actually going to start with the active setting because that's the one that you're going to see first. So let's style this one first. So for the active settings, for the active color, we want that color to be dark. So this is fine. But the active background, I want to add a subtle background there. And then the active border color, I want that to be one of our highlight colors, just like that. Okay, and then for the tab title, spacing, and border, this is where we can control the spacing and the border width. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is the border width. Okay, so I can see that there's a border width here on the top, bottom, and left. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the top by adding a 0 at the top. Remove it at the bottom by adding a 0 at the bottom. But on the left, I'm going to leave that just where it is. Okay. The other thing I'm going to remove is the border radius. So right below the border width, let's go ahead and 0 out the top border radius, and then also 0 out the left border radius. Okay. So now we should have a straight line or straight border there. All right. So now we are done with the active. Now the hover is going to mirror the active exactly. So just move over to the hover settings. And then from here, we're going to set the hover background to be a subtle light color, and then the border color will also be our highlight color. And then over here, all the settings here will all still be the same. Okay. So now when we hover over something, it should look just like the active color. Okay. And then next we're going to set our normal color. So this is when a tab is not being used. What does it look like? So I want that to be in contrast to the active color. So I'm going to select the normal color. And here the title color is going to be white. The background color is going to be a dark color. So we can just choose our strong text here. And then the title border color, we can just leave that the way that it is. That looks fine. And then over here, all these settings are universal across each state. So we'll just leave that the way that it is. Okay. All right. So let me take a look at our tutorials here. We can see here, okay, this looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to select the tab again. I'm going to go back to the general settings. And now I can actually add a content background and style the content background a little bit here. So I'm going to select the content background color picker, and I want it to match the color of the active tab. So I'm going to go ahead and select the lighter background here. So now everything matches. And then the next thing that I want to do, well, we can add a little bit more padding. Just give it some breathing room around there. So just go to advanced and increase the padding here. And now everything looks pretty decent here, the way that it looks. Okay, so now we have our tutorials. Okay, now the tutorials are changing. It's just that they have the same information. So we can add anything that we want in here. Okay, next let's go ahead and create the contact or the support section where they can reach out to you if they need any assistance. Okay, so this is going to be very easy. All we need to do here is add an image, a little blurb of text, and a button that links to your contact form on your website. So we're going to click on the plus sign here. We're going to select that we want an image from Kadence. We're going to click on select image, and from here we can just select one of these images here. This is fine. This will be our representative. And over here on the right hand side, I'm going to turn on some settings here. So I'm going to use the fixed ratio instead of the image ratio. And then from here, I'm going to turn this to 16 and 9. It's going to make it a little bit narrow. Now you can see how his head is a little bit cut off. That's very easy to fix. Just over here, we can actually move the center of focus to where we want it. So now his head is now in full view. Next, we're going to go ahead and add some text below and a button. So I'm going to click on the vertical ellipsis here. Click on add after. Do a /. Start typing the words text, and we will select the text block from Kadence. I'm also going to make this a little bit smaller, so let's select the H3 heading here. And we'll say, need assistance, ? Contact us. It's very simple. All right, and then let's go ahead and duplicate this. And turn this into a paragraph. So just change the H3 designation to a P for a paragraph, and we'll just say something extra here like our web experts are standing by, ready to help you with your website. Of course, you can put anything that you want here. I'm just making some things up. Okay, great. So so far this looks pretty good. Go ahead and just fix the line height here. So I'm going to go to the rems here, change that to 1.6, bring it a little bit closer. Okay, it looks a lot better. And now all we need is a button. So I can click on the plus sign here and select the Kadence button. And it's very simple. Contact us. Or if you have multiple ways for them to contact you, you can say email us. And then we can add another button that says call us. So if you want to put a phone number here behind this button, you can. All right. Okay, so far this looks good. One of the things I like to do, I like to set these to full width. So let's make these full width buttons. All right, and then I'm going to add some padding around this entire section. So I'm going to click here right in the corner so that I have the section selected. Move over to the right, go to advanced, and I'm going to unify the sides here, and I'm going to set this to about extra large, like that. Okay, so nice and narrow. Okay, great. And just a little bit of one change to this image. I'm going to select the image, go to style, and for the border radius on the image, I'm going to set that to 6. So it's a little softer and more friendly. Okay, so it looks like we've completed our page here. So we have our hero section, we have our links that link to different parts of WP admin. We have our link to the front end of the website. We have our link to all the blog posts, our most recently posted posts. We have our tutorials, and we have our section here for support. So the custom dashboard page is now completed. Let's go ahead and save our work. And let's just view this on the front end to see what this looks like. Okay, so this is what it will look like here. Okay, nice and simple. Now, for the next part of this video, we're going to go ahead and take what we have created here, and we're going to place it here in this area so that when you go to the dashboard, you're going to be seeing this. Okay, just a few things that we do need to clean up though. So we can see here we have a little bit of spacing right here. Let's get rid of that, and some spacing at the bottom. So let's go ahead and click on edit page. That is coming from our parent row container, which is this one right here. Move over to the right, go to advanced, and we're going to go ahead and unify the sides here, and we're just going to zero all of that out. Okay, so that there is no spacing on the tops or on the sides. Let's go ahead and save. Let's view the page just to be sure, and it should be flush against the top, flush against the sides, and flush against the bottom. All right, this looks great. Now let's go ahead and take the steps to go ahead and add that page to our landing page here at WP Admin. To replace the WordPress dashboard with our own custom dashboard, we're going to be enlisting the help of a plugin called White Label CMS. To install the plugin, let's go ahead and navigate to the plugins menu in the side menu, and we're going to select add new plugin, and then we're going to do a search for White Label CMS, and you'll see the plugin right over here. As you can see, this is a well supported and well updated plugin. It's been around for a long time, and best of all, this is a free plugin in the WordPress repository. So let's go ahead and click on install and activate, and now we can see that we have White Label CMS installed. Now what this plugin does is it allows you to basically white label WordPress in your own branding. So one of the features of that is to be able to replace the default WordPress dashboard panels with your own custom dashboard. Okay, to get to the settings for White Label CMS, you want to navigate to settings in the side menu, and then in the flyout menu that appears, the final entry here will be White Label CMS. Go ahead and click on that. And here are the White Label CMS settings. There are 5 areas where you can apply customizations. It's going to be branding, login, the dashboard, menus, and settings. Let's quickly go over each of these areas so that you have a good understanding of what this plugin can do. And then we'll also get to the area where we can go ahead and replace the default WordPress dashboard panels with our own custom dashboard. In the branding section, you can hide your WordPress logo and links. Basically, this hides mentions of WordPress and hides the links to WordPress.org. Then you can also hide the WP version, and you can change the page titles for everywhere that it says WordPress to any of the titles that you want. Then in the admin bar branding, which is the admin bar up here, you can add an admin bar logo. So normally by default, you have the WordPress logo here with the drop-down menu. You can change this by uploading your own logo and adding it there instead. And when we save this, you'll see now that the WordPress logo has been replaced by your own logo, and the drop-down is also now gone. Okay. And then you can also add admin bar alt text. So instead of it saying WordPress, you can just have it say basically whatever you want. And then here you can replace the howdy text. Typically it says howdy, and then the user, you can change this to say hi or hello. Okay. And then the admin bar URL. So they're talking about where this link actually goes to. So you can place a link there. And if you want it to link to a different site or the front end of the website, then you can go ahead and place the website URL here. Okay. The side menu, which are the menus here on the left hand side, has its own settings as well. So if you want to brand this, you can add a side menu image. Basically, if you upload a image there, then you will now have branding on the side menu. This is great if you have a client site that you built and you're delivering it to them and they go to log in. It's nice for them to be able to see their own branding here on the back end of the website. Okay. Then there's also an option to add a collapsed side menu image. So that's for when the image is collapsed. Typically this will happen when you're in responsive mode, or if someone closes it, just kind of like I did here. And you can also add a logo there as well. And this just allows there to be a logo when you have a collapsed menu item, right? So you see it right here. Typically, I don't include that because it kind of repeats the logo here. So you can have one or the other. If you ever want to remove anything, just click the X and go ahead and save. And then that will be reverted back to what it was. Okay, you can add a side menu link URL, and you can also add side menu alt text. Then you also have footer branding. So if you scroll to the footer, you don't see anything now, but if you started to add text or an image or URL, then it would appear. So you could say something to the effect of, thank you for building with CliftonWP. And if you scroll down, we save this first. If you scroll down, you'll see that text right over here. And then you can also link that text to something. So if you wanted to link to it to your own website, you got to use a real URL. Then it would be hyperlinked. Okay. And then you can also add an image there as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and remove that. Okay. And then lastly, you can also use HTML. Now this HTML field here is for the footer branding. So any HTML you put in here will reflect down here if you have much more customized information that you want to reflect there. Okay. Next is going to be the login tab. So under the login tab, this is for the WordPress login. So there's a preview link here, so you can always see what changes are being applied. But this is the typical login for WordPress. And if you want to change this, it's very easy to do it. White label CMS. You can go ahead and upload your logo. So go ahead and select our logo here. And then you can upload a retina logo, so something a little bit larger. You can set the logo width and the height and add a logo bottom margin so it separates from the form. You can also add a background color. So let's say we wanted something a little bit darker. Okay. And then you can also add a background image if you like. And if we look at the live preview now, you'll notice that things are actually starting to change here. So you can absolutely brand the back end here of the website. Then there are advanced settings as well. So you can hide the register lost your password link. You can hide the back to link, though I wouldn't hide that. And then you can also customize the form colors as well. So if you want the form colors to match the background, then you can set that up here. We can also set up a form label color. So let's say we set that to white or gold. Then we can also do a form button color. So we can set that to gold. And then the form button hover color, we can just make that a little bit lighter. Gold there. And then the text can be black. And then the button, we'll just keep that as black. And then the back to register link color, you can just go ahead and add whatever colors you like here. And then the privacy link color and privacy policy link color, if that's appearing on your login page, you can also set that up there as well. So if we look at the live preview now, you can see now we have a much more customized login page. And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you can see that you can apply some custom JavaScript if you want, or some custom CSS. So you can utilize custom CSS to even take this a little bit further. So for example, when I look at this live preview, I can see this border over here. Maybe you don't like this border, so we can just remove the border. And if you know how to use CSS, this will be very easy for you. So here's an example. Okay, and we're going to say border none. Okay, and let's save that work. And if we do a live preview, you can see now the border's gone, and we have a much more streamlined login. Okay, so that's it for the login. The next tab is going to be the dashboard. Now the dashboard is where you can customize the default WordPress dashboard. You can add an icon if you want. You can have a dashboard title. I typically remove this because there's no need to have a dashboard title since they're already in the dashboard. And then you can select the roles that the dashboard panels will be hidden to here. Over here is a toggle to hide all dashboard panels. So you can hide all of them, or you can only hide some of them if you want. I always choose to hide them all. And then if we scroll down here, this section addresses the custom welcome dashboard panel. So over here, you can add your own welcome panel to the dashboard page. And this is what we're actually looking for. So if you toggle this on, you'll see over here where you can select the roles that the welcome panel will be visible to. And typically that will be all the roles that get to log into the back end of your WordPress install. And then there's the template type. So you can create this with basic HTML if you want to, and if you're using Elementor or Beaver Builder Pro, then you can use either one of those to create your custom dashboard page. But we're using Gutenberg and Kadence Blocks and Kadence, so we would toggle on the last option here, which is any other page builder that we're using that allows you to be able to build a custom dashboard like Kadence. So I'm going to toggle this on, and then here in the drop down, when I open this up, I'm going to select the custom dashboard that we built. Now that is in place, then the other options here are to make it dismissible. We don't want that one. And if you want to, if you build a second dashboard or you added more information, you can actually add a second panel, and that can also have the ability to have a different page added on there to give you a much more extensive custom dashboard. In our case, we only did one, so we don't need this second panel. And then this last area right here is for if you want to add an RSS feed to your custom dashboard. You can just toggle this on and then fill in the fields, and then your RSS feed will also show up on the dashboard as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. The last two tabs here are menus that this addresses are the side menu right over here. And if you want to hide some menus from your client, then you would toggle this on. You would always be able to see all the menus, but your client, even if they're an administrator, won't be able to see those menus. This is where you can toggle on and off the menus that you want them to see or not see. And if you want more granular control, just click one of the arrows next to the menu items, and then you can actually turn off the individual submenus that are below the main menu here. Okay, now if you're going to do this, always make sure you're transparent with the client. Sometimes it is important to turn off certain menu items only because you don't want the client or the client's employees to log in and spoil any settings that you've already set up there. So sometimes it's not necessary for them to get in there. Or if you're doing 100% management of the website, but they happen to be able to log in sometimes to make some changes to content, you may want to hide all of the items here that they don't necessarily need to have access to. Okay, you can also hide items in the admin menu bar here, or in the admin toolbar for WordPress. So here you can hide the My WordPress, the comment section, any of the new items or the new creation items that are on the front end, and so on. Okay. All right, and the final tab here are the settings tab. So here you can hide the front end admin bar entirely. I don't recommend doing this. You can hide the help box. You can also hide the screen options as well. And you can also hide the nag update messages that show up in the dashboard as well. Now, typically I don't recommend hiding this one, but sometimes if it bothers you too much or it bothers your client, you can go ahead and turn it off and they won't see those messages anymore. And then here is the custom CSS for the admin section of WordPress. Okay, and that is it for white label CMS. So the part that we are interested in is the dashboard. And here in the dashboard, we just want to make sure that under the custom welcome dashboard panel, we've added our own panel. We've selected that it's a page, and then we've indicated our own page here. Okay, and once you're done with that, then we're going to go ahead and click on save. And now when we visit the dashboard, we will see our own custom dashboard that we created with Kadence and Kadence Blocks. So we can see all of our navigational links here, our blog posts, the mini tutorial, and then the contact us section. Okay, if you click on the create a new blog post, you will notice that it does take you to the blog editing interface. If we go back to the dashboard and we test all these links, they all navigate to the respective parts of the website that you or your client would be using the most. Okay, so that one's for the pages, and this should allow us to see all pages. Okay, then this link will take us to the front end of the website, and if we go back to the dashboard, we're greeted with our own custom dashboard again. All right, so that is how you add a custom dashboard and have that replace the default WordPress dashboard panels. Okay, so now that we've successfully replaced the WordPress dashboard with our own custom dashboard, we do need to take some steps to make sure that only admins that are logged into the website get to be able to see this page and that it's not visible on the front end of the website. Because if you remember, this page is actually a real page in your WordPress install called Custom Dashboard. And if somebody were to view the front end of the website, they would see the page. And if we take a look at this in an incognito window or a logged out screen, we could still access that dashboard even if you're not logged into the website. And also, if somebody were to go to a 404 page on the site, or they conducted a search and they happen to search for dashboard, which happens sometimes, okay, they would see the search result here, go ahead and click on it, and they would get to this page. Now, they really couldn't be able to do anything, but of course, you still don't want people to be able to see this. If they try to log in, then it will take them right to the login page if they try to access anything on that page. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that that page is not visible to people who are not logged in to the website, and that it's only being used for the purpose with which we created it, which is to be a custom dashboard for your website. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can address that. Okay, so here we are back at the custom dashboard. From here, what you want to do is want to navigate over to pages, click on all pages, and we're going to find the custom dashboard page, which is right over here. From here, click on the edit link in the short menu there, and it will take us to the editing interface for the page. Now, what we want to do is we want to create a section here that is only viewable by people that are not logged into the website. And that section that we're going to create, we're going to create it on the same page. We're going to make that section visible, and then we're going to make the custom dashboard invisible to those folks. Okay, so to do that, open up everything in list view, and you'll see the row layout that contains our custom dashboard. What we'll want to do is we'll want to go ahead and rename this row layout. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the vertical ellipsis, select rename, and let's call this one logged in view. And save that. And then we're going to create a new block line right above this one and add a fresh new row to that block line. So from here, you can click on the vertical ellipsis again, select add before, and it's going to create a new block line for us here. And then we're going to do a / and start typing the words row. Select the row layout from Kadence Blocks. We want a 1-column row. For the alignment from the short menu, set that to full width. And then for the inner content width, let's just use a custom amount of 960 pixels. All right, and then we're also going to rename this row layout as well. So click on the vertical ellipsis, go to rename, and let's call this one logged out view row. Okay, so now we have our two rows, one for people that are logged out and one for people that are logged in. Next, let's go ahead and place some information inside of the logged out view row. So click on the plus sign, and what we're going for here is we're going to create what's called a faux 404 section. So typically, like a 404 page, when you go to a 404 page, it basically tells you that the information that you're looking for is missing, or it's gone, or it's not available, or never was on the site, and then gives you some kind of instructions or redirects you somewhere else. We're going to create the same effect here for when people stumble across this page. So click on the plus sign, and we're looking for the text block from Kadence Blocks. Okay, and from here we're going to go ahead and just add the typical content. So that's usually an oops exclamation mark, and we'll go ahead and center this, and we can open up the block settings. Just click on the block settings icon, and we'll set the font size to the largest it can be, which is 3XL. And then we're going to do a new block line. So just click enter right after the text block here, and there'll be a new block line. And from here, we're just going to add some text. So you can say the content you are looking for here, or looking for, is no longer available or has been moved. And then let's go ahead and center this. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the enter key again to create a new block line. I'm going to do a / and do a search for a search bar. So just start typing the words search. You'll see a search block from Gutenberg. We'll go ahead and select that, and we'll just add search the website right there. And then with this search selected, let's go ahead and add a button here for them that will redirect them to the home page. Click on the vertical ellipsis again, add after / search for button, or start typing the words buttons. We'll select the Kadence Blocks buttons, and we will say back to home. And then here on the right hand side in the button link field, we're going to go ahead and do a search for home and select the home page. Okay, so now we have pretty much everything that we need. Let's go ahead and also give this some space. So I'm going to select the row, and using the visual padding here, I'm just going to go ahead and drag this to as big as it can get, which is 5x large, and 5x large on the bottom. Now that's as big as it can get using the visuals here. If ever you want to expand a row beyond 5x large, just go to advanced. Here we have the padding. You can go ahead and toggle on the custom size, and you can set any custom size here that you want. You can also change the units as well. Okay, but for now, 5x large is just fine. All right, now if you really want to have some fun with this, you can also add a animation at the very top here, or an image. So let's go ahead and add a Lottie animation to this. If you're not familiar with Lottie animations, there's actually a Lottie animation block from Kadence Blocks, and you can add a Lottie file there. It's usually an animation that has some dramatic effect, and they actually look great on 404 pages. So if you don't know where to get them, you can go to lottiefiles.com, create a free account, and then just search for a Lottie animation. So let's search for 404, and let's say robot. You can see all the different 404 robots. I'm going to select this one. Now some of these are premium animations, so but there's lots of free ones as well. Okay, so I really like this one. The file that you're looking for is the JSON file, so go ahead and copy that link from here, and then we'll go back to our page. And what we want to do is right above the oops here, we're going to go ahead and click on the vertical ellipsis, click on add before for a new block line, do a / and start typing the words Lottie, and you'll see the Lottie animations block. Select it, and then over here on the right hand side you'll see the Lottie animation URL. Just go ahead and remove the one that's there and add the one that we copied from lottiefiles.com. Now that we've added the URL, I'm going to go to advanced, and I want to set a max width of 400 pixels. And then I also want to make sure that I have no spacing between the Lottie animation, or very little spacing between the Lottie animation and the text. So I'm going to select the text block here, move over to the right, go to advanced. I know that there's some default settings here, so I'm going to go ahead and just zero that out, and then click on save. And now when we view the page, we can see our Lottie animation. Okay, we see the oops, and then the search, where we can go ahead and search for a page, and then the back to home, which will take us back to the front end of the website. Okay, now we are still able to see the custom dashboard, so we just need to set one more thing up to make sure that only the logged in people can see this, and logged out people will not. Okay, so let's go back to edit page, and now what we want to do is open this up in list view, select the logged out view row, move over to the right, go to advanced, visibility settings, and here where it says user visibility settings, we're going to go ahead and hide the faux 404 section from logged in users. So just toggle that on, and we'll save this. And then I'm going to select the logged in view, move over to the right, go to advanced visibility settings. And this time, under the user visibility settings, I'm going to hide from logged out users. Okay, so we're going to hide this from logged out users, and then save. Okay, so already we can see, if we view the page now, we don't see that 404 anymore. Let's also take a look at it in an incognito window and see what people who are logged out will see when they visit this same page. Okay, so here's the logged out version of the website. If I go to that custom dashboard, now all I see is the 404 section here and an ability to be able to search the website, and then a link that takes me back to the home page. Okay, so we've accomplished the first part of what we're trying to do here. Now let's accomplish the second part. So the second part is that we still don't want people to be able to search, so I can come here and do a search for dashboard and hit search, and I will still be able to see this page. Now it will take me back to this 404 again, but I don't even want them to have the ability to see this at all. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hide the ability for them to even do this search. All right, so to do that, let's go ahead and go back to our logged in version of the website. Okay, so here we are back at our custom dashboard. Now, in order for us to make sure that when people conduct that search, that this page is not listed in search at all, we want to go ahead and enlist the help of another plugin called Search Exclude. So we'll go to plugins, click on add new plugin, and do a search for Search Exclude. Okay. you will see the plugin right over here, and it's a pretty recently updated plugin. A lot of people use this plugin, and it's a great plugin. So go ahead and click on install now and activate. Now this plugin only does one thing. It adds a little checkbox next to any page or post that you want to exclude from search. So if we go back to pages, all pages, go to custom dashboard, click on edit. Notice now here in the right hand side, you will see a checkbox that says exclude from search results. So let's go ahead and click on that. We'll save. And now let's go back to our logged out view of the website, conduct a search, and see if we'll still see this page listed in the search results. Okay, so here we are in the logged out view of the website. We're going to go to the custom dashboard page, which is going to bring us to our faux 404 page. So it's like it doesn't exist. And now if we do a search for dashboard, search, we see nothing. Okay. If we do a search for custom dashboard, we don't see anything anymore. Okay. So now we've fully taken care of our custom dashboard. We've created it. We've made sure that it is only available to people who are logged in. And we've also made sure that logged out users can't stumble upon the page or even know that the page exists by running a search. Okay, and with that, that'll bring us to the conclusion of our tutorial on how to create a custom dashboard that will replace your default WordPress dashboard for free using Kadence, Kadence Blocks, white label CMS, and search exclude. Hey, if you really like this tutorial, please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave that in the comments section below. For those of you who are subscribed to the channel, thank you very much in advance for your support. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, especially if you like very detailed tutorials that teach you tips and tricks on how to use WordPress, or also how to use Kadence to build beautiful and effective websites. Once again, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.